High up in the mountains, way above Los Angeles, is Big Bear Lake. A ski resort in the winter and a relaxing destination in the summer. We are on our way to see the annual car show put together by the Revolution Car Club. Here we go.
Hey, what's up guys? This is Art from Killer Wax. Today we're at the Revolution show out in Big Bear, California.
We're gonna make this a yearly event. This is our second year. Hotel loves us here, people love us here, making it bigger and bigger every year, trying to get the whole Big Bear community involved.
What I like about this show is there's a variety. You have from classic cars, you have mini trucks, you got lowriders, you got dub style cars, you got, there's a whole variety. You see a lot of these mini trucks. The goal on the mini truck is slam to the ground. These things come scraping at night, throwing sparks out the back. You can't just get any car and do that. You have to modify it. They're super modified. The wheel wells are cut out. They redo the frames. The thing is to be original. You don't want to copy anybody. Everybody has their own style, which is great. Some guys got freaking keg taps for shift knobs. You got some guys with polished kegs in the back as gas tanks. I like about it because you see their creativity. You'll see some with big rims, small rims. You'll see them bagged. You'll see them that are just laid out. Some even try to chop them to make it even smaller. You're like, holy crap! You look in there and there's like the ground and a seat. You're like, wow. What I like about it is their creativity. It's not just you see one, you see them all. No, every single one is different. They all, and you talk to the people and it's almost like they have a car that's their twin or something. Their personality is exactly in the car. There's some guys that I see the seats have like freaking nails in the seats. They're like, wow, dude, that's crazy. Some don't even have floors on them. It's just welded bars in the seat. They could see the ground underneath. 99% of these cars here are all custom. The mini truck scene is coming back. It kind of slowed down for a little bit, but those same trucks from the 80s are back and they look just like they did in the 80s, man. It's just great. Since the 60s, 50s, 60s, California has had their own style, unique style. You got your custom low rods, you have, custom cars or whatnot. Our style is starting to spread worldwide. Like in Saudi Arabia, Dubai, you see lowriders out there, custom cars, hot rods. Everybody wants that California style. California, we have many car shows. As soon as springtime comes around, there's a car show on every corner. People come from all over the world. It's Cali style, baby.
My name's Mike Phillips. I'm in Big Bear, California. We came to Cruising the Oso Part 2. This is my truck right here. I'm doing it up. Got everything done up pretty much and set up, and all we can do is keep going and having a good time. I got 2 years so far in it. I'm gonna keep going. I got other things I gotta do. I just figured it out, so I'm still doing the process. Yes, this is still a mini truck, old school style with the 15-inch rims and everything just down to the ground. And then the Z-rack on the bed, which is dump, diamond this side and diamond the other side, so it goes up even higher. I just did it way back in the 80s and everything, and I used to be with a club, and now I'm just running on my own. And everybody here is a car enthusiast, so we come out and have a good time. It is coming back, but to find the parts for the trucks is really very, very hard. When you go to the junkyards and stuff, they've already stripped them or broke them, so you can't use any of the parts. I just hunt, and I get people that'll call me up and say they found one over here. They call me and they get all the parts, send me the pictures, and they'll pull them for me. I go pick them up. The history in the old cars is the nostalgia, the look that they had, and the design. When you get the newer cars, they don't have that look and design, and when you try to fix them up, they can only go to a certain limit. And then the older cars and everything, you can go sky's the limit on them. Interior, paint, engine, undercarriage, frame, suicide doors, shaved door handles, hoods, emblems. You can get rid of all of that and do things. And your paint is one of the key factors that you can just go crazy. Let your imagination run wild. Like I say, it's one big family and everybody has a good time doing it.
Revolution's Choice, number 51, Krumpa, Solar Rider.
I myself judge cars for the best paint and stuff like that. All right, guys, let's find the shiniest car. Wow, I like this. Nice and clean. It's all custom graphics on it, so you want to look for orange peel. I go off the reflection of my hand. That shows you the clarity in the paint, but this is all custom airbrush. Really nice. No swirls. I look at it in an angle. You got to kind of move in all angles to find it. It's got some swirls in the paint on the hood. You can polish it out. I think this will be a gem. Right now in Big Bear, we have a lot of pollen, so it's been falling on the cars, and that's understandable. But the thing is when you're in competition like they are today, you got to keep on it. Regardless of the situation, you got to be on it. I know it's annoying. You could wipe your car 100 times in a day, but being a judge, that's what I look for. This car here is one of my sponsored car. He does well, he maintains it. There's no swirls in the paint. This guy does a lot of shows out here in Southern California. You could see the paint job he keeps on it. It's waxed really nice. It's got some custom airbrush work on it. This car right here is a lot of people think it's a wrap, but this is actually airbrushed and painted. You'll see a lot of pollen on the car, but this is all custom airbrush work. We have a guy out here that does that. But you can see the clarity in it. You see the depth in it. I look at my hand. See that $20 bill? It's clear. That's what we're looking for. You're able to read it. It's not all bumpy. That's a hell of a paint job. You know, it looks like a regular car just lowered, but if you actually see behind here, under the back here, it's all custom framework. You know, it's all redone. You don't really see that, but that's all the work that, you know, to get the cars to get these low. But as you can see what I'm talking about, the reflection, if you look at that line there, it's not clear. It should be clear like you're looking at a mirror.
My name's Ken Carlson. We're in Big Bear Lake, California. I belong to the Big Bear Lake Antique Car Club, and this is my 1951 Ford. In 1956, my first car was a 1951 Ford down in the San Fernando Valley. This car represents what the 50s was like in California, the 50s and 60s, which were the true car culture times. The food here is representative of the way restaurants used to serve it down in the San Fernando Valley, Bob's Big Boy, and a few of the other places. And so I'm recreating my 1950s. I have done most of the restoration myself. Of course, I'm not good at painting, but I've had parts off, had them re-chromed. The engine originally came with a 6-cylinder engine in it, and I found a flathead 1953 V8, and this V8 engine is what I wanted to do back in 1956, but didn't have the money. I took it out and rebuilt it and put in aluminum Offenhauser heads, Edelbrock manifold, dual carburetors, and it moves right along. Not hard at all, because back in the 50s, especially the early 50s, 49, 50, 51, Ford came out after the war years, were trying to get established again because they didn't make cars during World War II era. So when they came back out, they were trying to do it as simple and as fast as they could. And so I just pulled out the 6-cylinder engine and dropped it on the same motor mounts and bolted up to the same transmission. The only difference was this car, I have upgraded it to the point where it now has 12-volt lights and a 12-volt ignition system, because 12-volt just works better than the original 6 volts. Of course, the 6-volt still runs the radio. It has an original AM-only tube-type radio in it. And a tube-type radio usually takes a couple of minutes to warm up. We're just getting the sound on it now.
AP update. California headline news. Wednesdays at 960.
Metallics and that. We had, I mean, there was single-stage paint with metallics, but this, you could tell by the gloss in it. You know, if it's been repainted, it has the gloss in it, and then you can see the metallic popping on it. I look at the angle of the sun, I rock back and forth, I kneel down, I look at my reflection. Sometimes I find out that I got something on my face. It just needs a little bit of work, but it's a great paint job, you know, for being a classic. It's got a real nice metallic paint to it. It's got pinstriping on it.
Don't say you know.
Man, I love these classic cars. This is a repaint, which is obvious it's a repaint, but you know, they should be able to polish it out and get it to that top shine. It's like getting a haircut and not combing your hair. You know, it looks great and all, but once you comb it, you gotta fine tune that little, that's how it is with cars. So what I wanna do is I wanna take the dollar bill, and that's what's gonna give you the clarity in the paint. You wanna be able to read that. If you can't read it, what I tell people is just usually kind of polish it out and get it to that. You just want to make sure it's clear, it's not all bumpy. But this car here is a phenomenal car. It's got custom pinstriping on it. It's beautiful. I want one now.
Built it from the ground up. I ended up doing a body drop in one night, and then ended up deciding to chop top it, do a pillar delete, and it was all painted red. And then when we did the chop top, it had 2 silver stripes, so we started to sand it down, and it ended up just turning into a patina look. But one day I'll finish it. It'll be a complete truck. A year last year, the truck was stock S10. Probably it never ends. You always change something, you always build something. You're always thinking of other ideas, different things to do, something to be different than everyone else. It's artwork.
When you go with satin finishes, you want to make sure that they stay consistent. You don't want to see blotchiness in it. A lot of these cars, when people paint them, they'll be like blotchy. And like I said, this is a great matte finish, or semi-gloss, whatever you want to call it. But this car here is fully custom. My goodness, gorgeous. I like it. These type of finishes, they're hard to maintain. People don't realize how hard these are to maintain because there's really no product they sell that's gonna, like for instance, if you have a gloss paint, you have Carnauba that'll protect it. These are more of you need cleaners for them because you can't really, because you're trying to avoid the gloss on it. This is a great paint job. I was looking at this one earlier. You know, even though we have the pollen on it. Now, to break a tie decision, I would take the pollen to advantage because they see me walking around, so they should be wiping it down. We have a minimal amount of swirls on this thing. The guy keeps it phenomenal. That there is a phenomenal paint job, well maintained, no swirls. This right here, this truck, I haven't seen the rest of them, but this would be one of my first choices. So what I do is take my finger, travel it, because people don't like to bend over. But this guy's got it all the way down to the bottom. Clarity, that's what we look for. It's a really good paint job. Good. It's been sitting out for many years. I think he said it was like 20 years in the desert. We could polish it out, but there's really not much you can do because it's a single stage paint. So basically the damage is already done. We could polish it out to remove some of the swirls, but that being said, you're gonna have to use a compound, which is gonna take some of the layers off. So being a classic paint job and stuff, so you just, like I said, there's some stuff you have to take it as, if he's showing for originality, being an original paint, it's been, never touched or whatnot, you gotta give that some consideration. So, we can't say, oh, it's gonna be a mere reflection, but for the year, what it is, and if it's original paint, you have to take that to consideration. You should be able to see the clouds in the sky, and like I said, it's just the shadow. That's all you're getting off of this is a shadow, no clarity in it. You look at it at an angle, it looks great, but like I said, you have it's almost like the polishing compound they're using has a little bit more abrasive than it should. You know what, this ain't original, because you can see the orange peel. You didn't really get orange peel back in the day, but the gloss wasn't as brilliant. It wasn't as shiny. Like I said, this here as well, just a simple, but like I said, people don't really know about the new technology. This is old school technology, so this is the maximum that you could probably get out of a wax or a polish. So you could see, being it's repainted, this is what I'm talking about, orange peel.
Yeah, I can see that now.
Yeah, and that's what you want to buff out. Now, the paint will naturally do an orange peel on it because when you spray it, it kind of waves like little bubbles on it. So you gotta color sand all that off. So you gotta put plenty of clear on there. It'll be able to take the color sanding in it and then polish it out, and that'll give you the mirror finish. They could wax it all they want, but it's still, you're gonna find your clarity in the color sanding of the car. They're like spider web swirls in it. You see, like they're mixed in there.
Oh, I see. Yes.
That's what I mean by swirls, and that's real easy to do. We recommend that you always use a new towel, which is an expensive deal, but microfiber or static electricity, so it's made to take the dust off. Some people will push a little too hard and it'll get that swirl in there. That's what they are. They're real ultra fine scratches, but it's a simple fix. You just need to polish it out with a compound, a real light compound, and it'll get those out. Now here, these are the colors that show everything the most, and you rock back and forth. They look like spider webs in the paint. Sometimes people will focus on other things besides the paint. They think, hey, we got a shine to it, so it should work. But like I say, we're here judging for the paint, and that's what I look for, is the blemishes in it. Yes, it's a shiny car, but it's all the way across. So like I said, this is a fiberglass. This is a Porsche. They're made out of fiberglass, so it's a little bit softer. And it's not a bad thing, but you can take 2 more steps to it and polish it out to a glass image. Yeah, even the fiberglass, it's the same because it's clear coated. You can see he used the spray wax on here. He didn't totally finish wiping it off.
Hi, my name is Cliff Fowler. I'm the past president of the Big Bear Lake Antique Car Club. We're down here at the lodge in Big Bear Lake with a show put on by Revolution. This is my 1923 Ford T Roadster. This is one of only a handful of turnkey cars. Bill Kiefer, who owned California Custom Roadsters, may he rest in peace. The car features a 671 blown small block Chevy V8 350 cubic inch full roller motor with a 671 blower and dual hollow blower carbs. She's running pretty close to 700 horsepower at the flywheel. It goes through a turbo 350 transmission that was built by Art Carr, and finishes up with a polished and plated Jaguar rear end, all independent rear suspension. Kiefer had a manufacturing license, so the car is registered under his manufacturing license as a 1923 Ford. The nice thing about T's is Model T's were actually the very first hot rods that came out and actually started the hot rod era, especially here in Southern California. From kind of the old school guys like myself who grew up with muscle cars and grew up with carbureted engines. Today, this is about the only stuff we can still wrench on. We can't wrench on our daily drivers anymore because everything's all computerized. So the beautiful part about having cars like this for us old school guys is we can still work on them. I drive it to all one-day venues, so whether it's up the hill, down the hill, wherever, It's a driver. Well, you know, there's nothing nicer than the whine of a blower, and it's kind of instrumental in itself. It's got a very unique high lift cam in it, so it's got quite a nice lope. So the whine and the lope and everything makes it sound pretty impressive when she's going down the road.
All right, this car here, this is what you consider a vinyl wrap, and it's a matte finish, which is great. Now, if we could have gotten this in paint, it would have been even better. So what they do is they paint on vinyl, and then, you know, they'll wrap it with that. So I'm pretty sure it's a wrap. You'll see the consistency of it. There's not no swirls in it or whatever. So that means that it's vinyl wrapped. Yeah, it's beautiful wrap work, I'll tell you that. You know, if we were judging for that, I like it. I like it a lot. It's got like the rivet marks in it. It's got the custom vinyl done in the back. This is a Hoppos equipped car. It's got Hoppos pumps on there. Looks like it's a 3-pump system, hydraulic, which makes the bed dance back and forth. This guy's got a lot of work put into it. He's got the full body painted, custom, and then he's got the chrome underneath. This is what I consider into detail. He's got everything clean under here. His wheels are clean, his wheel wells are clean. This is a really clean looking truck. You could see some, you know, they shaved the door handles, so you could see some work done on the door here. This is a perfect example of a mini truck. It's got the hydros in the back, dancing bed, you know. The bed does all kinds of crazy stuff. There used to be this one truck, the bed would open up like a Rubik's, you know, it would pop open, balloons would come flying out, it would spin, the front end would tilt up, it would turn around, it was just great.
We also, for Christmas, we do a toy drive and we donate to Prototypes Women's Center, and that helps all the women that are going through recovery. We donate, we do a cruise night, and all the funds and the toys that get donated at that, we donate them to the girls to give to their kids and to buy toys for their kids. Also, we do one for Thanksgiving. We raffle off a Thanksgiving dinner for the people that go or people in need. And we're doing the raffle this year. We're donated to Team Hornet, and they do shows for people in need that are going through bad times in life.
Yeah, but we can't wait for everybody. Number 50, Vanessa Solo.
Another Saturday car show is over, and everyone is heading home with a unique custom car. This is one of my favorite parts, to see the cars go and listen to their engines. This was a very good show. Lots of different and really well-made cars of all styles. A special thanks to Killer Wax for letting us follow their judging round of paint jobs.
Next year.